Welcome back, boys and girls, to another exciting episode of Full Circle. This is episode 19. Whoo, I know it has been a very long ride. Thank you for sticking with us. As always, I'm Odo Harmon Jr. You can find me at Odo Harmon Jr. on all social media.
Right? And I'm Jerry Fradette. You can find me at all those exact same social media places at Toon Velo. We have a great episode for you today. We'll be finally putting to rest what's better, an anime sub or an anime dub.
And going with the anime trend, we'll finally be educating the public what's the difference between anime and a cartoon. It's a lot simpler than you think.
But first and foremost, we have to report live from the scene. Gamescom, our very own reporter Odell was just in Germany, flew back just right now, landed an hour ago, and he's ready and pumped to tell us all about the exciting things from Gamescom.
Yes, I've been in Germany for the past week and a half and other European cities.
And a European romp, if you will.
Yeah, and the show must go on. Yes, we do not take weeks off. We got to deliver the show every Wednesday, regardless where we are, when we are, time and space and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just came from, actually, it was the 10th anniversary of Gamescom.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, Gamescom.
Com, not con.
Yes.
Whoops. Well, educate me then.
Yeah, and so there's the three biggest game conventions, if you will, on the planet are TGS, which is the Tokyo Game Show. You guessed it, in Tokyo. E3, the biggest one of them all that we all know and love, that happens every year in LA. And Gamescom, which takes place in Cologne, Germany. And if we're talking about attendance, Gamescom is the biggest, which we had something around the neighborhood of 300,000 people.
That's insane.
Yeah, so I don't know what the attendance of E3 is, but that's at least 3 E3s.
I mean,
at least.
I was going to say, based on, I think, the numbers from the public last year, E3 was only 70,000.
Yeah, and that's including the public, so, when it was just trade people, it was much lower than that. But, so, the convention center called Cologne Messe, which I'm probably not pronouncing correctly, but that's how I say it, was actually really built up, before I tell you about it, was built up nicely that there was about 9 different halls that were each big enough equally to hold their own convention in. So in one you had like Xbox and Bethesda and whoever have you, and in one hall is Nintendo and like Twitch and Amazon and EA. Well, no, actually EA had their own giant halls in the business center. Oh, that's another thing I like. They had a business center that was strictly only business professionals only.
Okay, that's nice.
Because, in the 300,000 hall, it was very
Excuse me, coming through.
Yeah.
Excuse me, coming through.
It wasn't the people that got to me, it was the body heat. The pure body heat was insane. As a native Texan, I could not take the amount of body heat that was around me. And they also had areas for families and kids, which I thought was impressive. Like,
you don't get that at any con I've been to.
Any con, period, games or otherwise. So, and of course it was game things. So they had big inflatable toys, and you can be, what do you call the machine where you play soccer?
Foosball?
Yeah, you could be human foosball players. And they had slides, and they had little kiosks with Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and up to PS4, playing little kid-friendly games. And there was 2 halls of that, and then they had a hall just full of indie stuff, and then they had one of the giant halls was just merch. So you had a Sony booth, a Nintendo booth, a Ubisoft booth, selling those particular merch items.
That's particularly nice, because a lot of the cons I've been to, it's like, there's just a crowd of people, I'm like, is this a congestion? Is this the line for, the new Switch? What is this? Oh no, I'm just gonna get a sweater. Well, could you not?
Yeah, so, and then all those, just people who just bought space to sell their random game, it was all in one hall. So, and I thought that was cool because, I came here to buy merch. Well, cool, it's all here. It's just here. It was honestly like a giant flea market of game-related merch.
It's pretty nice.
It was really cool and really Disney at the same time, because I was just like, man, if you came here to spend money, you were definitely going to spend money. So, beyond that, the game setups were really nice. They were extremely fan interactive. There were big, giant concert-sized stages, at the Xbox when they had, a Fortnite party, and, some Fortnite people came there, and they were, T-shirt cannon shooting out, and they're getting everyone to dance.
And they're like, Guten Tag, everybody!
Yeah, actually they were. And then so the Ubisoft stage, same thing. The EA stage, same thing. I'm talking about massive stages. And it was probably the best fan community thing that I've seen. Like, I mean, PAX does a good job of doing this, but this was extremely well organized and meant to handle the masses. It was just an impressive operation. So, for you in the States or wherever you're listening, if you have a chance to go to Gamescom, I highly recommend it. In terms of announcements, we got the new Jump Force characters were announced.
Yes.
And, we don't get the big announcements. They're more like the extended announcements. Like,
the Nintendo Direct announcements.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we know it's coming. What do we...
Here's some new characters. Here's some new modes. Here's a new trailer.
Okay.
So nothing groundbreaking in terms of announcements, but the experience was by far the best con experience in gaming that I ever had, and probably the best con experience of anything, point blank, period.
That's pretty great. So let me ask a question. I think all of our viewers are probably thinking, how were you able to communicate at all in Germany? Like, do they have native English speakers, like representatives from Nintendo or EA?
Well, unlike America, most people, spoke 2 to 3 different languages, and
what?
They all spoke English. So, like, at the kiosks, they either spoke English or very broken English, but
a form of English that you could.
They spoke a form of English, and usually, a lot of people speak like Spanish also, or all the attendance people or professional people know enough languages to where they could probably communicate with somebody.
That's pretty good. That's pretty helpful because cons aside, I think that's something people worry about going abroad. Period.
Yeah, and I guess since a lot of people from all over Europe come around. Because I would meet people and they'd be like, oh, Francois, Inglés, Español.
Tu parles français? And you're like, they go, oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, so they would
Who's this American schmuck? Okay.
So people would commonly ask, what language you spoke so they knew how to address you.
I was going to say, you should just wear a little American pin. I'm like, well, maybe not. Wear a little UK pin. So,
fun fact, I had to ask one of the hosts where the crystal room was.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, the crystal room. And then she was like, what? She was like, I was like, the crystal, she's like, oh, sorry. She's like, do you know English? And I'm like, I'm speaking English. And she's like, oh, wait, she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I hear so many different languages that sometimes, I was like, wow, she knew at least 3. Mm-hmm. I knew that. But she knew enough to where, over the course of that, she had to address so many different questions in so many different languages that by the time I got to her, she was just like, what language is this? Hold on. I need to
recenter and realign here. Let me
just... Yeah, that's the first time I ever spoke to someone, and they were like, do you know English? Because I can communicate better that way. And I'm like, it's the only language I know.
Yes. I can definitively say, yes, I speak English.
And I did meet fans that spoke English, and they told me, there was one guy who said he learned English by playing World of Warcraft.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I met other people who... that are mostly PC games, that said they learned English from playing a game, and I thought that was cool. Bad on us because maybe there should be another game in another language and we'll learn.
Right.
But yeah, there was a lot of people in the community that I guess gaming brought them together. It actually helped them learn a new language because that game is mostly in that language. Or a lot of people who play the game speak English, so they learn the language from primarily playing the game.
Right? I was going to say, I'm surprised actually with World of Warcraft that more people don't learn Korean, because isn't that a big market to hire people who played in Korea to grind for you for gold and such?
Was it?
I thought so. It was either Korea or China where
I believe it.
Yeah, you pay people literal currency for in-game currency because they're perfectly fine with just grinding and clicking all day.
Yeah, I forgot. I think Blizzard might have a board or. Don't quote me on this, people. But I know someone had a board for a while, that was its sole purpose was to legally use actual currency for people who buy in-game items with actual real-life currency, which just blew my mind.
It might have also been something with Eve, because I remember there was a story maybe a couple years ago that someone lost an equivalent 30,000 real US dollars because their in-game things that they had purchased got blown up. Yes. Is
there a return policy on that?
No, because right in Eve, you build your armada or your ship, and they would pay people to get these weapons and things for their ship, and then their ship blew up. So all that money they paid, real life money, is now just gone because the ship blew up.
Yeah. And also a fun fact that I won't delve into on this episode, maybe another episode. Gamescom made me also realize how greatly diverse and not diverse at the same time the game industry is, or the community,
Mm-hmm.
or the representation of the diversity.
Like,
I know it's more
racially, like gender.
Oh no, generally like there was just as many women as there were men there.
Okay.
But yeah, racially,
Of course.
like more diverse globally, but racially, there's still, the representation isn't there. Like we know it's there, it's just not there. But like I said, that's a topic for another day. But if you have the chance or opportunity or save up, go to Gamescom. I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world to do, but with enough planning and enough, people on board, you can do anything. They have a thing called Gamescom Camp, where they have a campsite that you can pay for like a slot that's like stupid cheap, and you just bring like a tent or RV and you just stay there.
Okay, almost like a hostel, right? In a way,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay.
Except outside with the elements and.
Well, I mean the concept of like, do you need a place to do you need like a cubicle to like store your body in for 8 hours? We can allot you that space.
Pretty much.
Right? The rest of the world does it. Europe does it. Japan does it. America, get on it.
I mean, we have hostels here.
Do we?
Yeah.
I've never tried.
I stayed in one when the first time I went to Boston.
Well, there you go. I guess that makes sense, right? International visitors coming over as students, probably.
Yeah, I guess I know what you're saying. Like, as an American in America, you never think of that option.
Right.
But they do exist. It's the same concept.
Okay.
And it's the same, $30 a night.
Well, what do you know? So I guess there's not that much difference between us and international.
The more you know.
But what's the difference then between anime and cartoons?
Woohoo! That's a good one. So, first and foremost, cartoons are not I guess anime are not cartoons because no one ever calls a cartoon anime.
And anime is just Japanese animation, right?
That's happening.
It's a good, right? It's pretty much like pretty much like a good bucket of things that are Japanese animation are anime, but it's not exclusive.
Yeah, that's the general rule of thumb. In the same sense was to be tequila, you have to be made in Mexico by rule. To be champagne, you have to be made in the Champagne region of France.
Scotch has to be made in
Scotland. So anime has to be in the Japanese art style.
Right, style, because that's important, because there are many other countries who also have their own anime, right? I think probably most famously for America would be The Last Airbender.
Yes, that is an anime because of its stylistic choice. Not necessarily because it was made in Japan, because it was not.
Made by Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Is that a studio anymore?
That was a good one.
Thank you.
So don't be confused. It does not have to be made in Japan, though the vast majority of animes are.
Right. I guess another probably notable one would be your favorite, Code Lyoko.
Oh, God.
It is a French anime.
Oh, it's so trash. Is it? Oh, God. See, that...
Reset. Redo the segment again, where Adele says he loves Code Lyoko. We'll just keep hitting redo. Do it again and again.
We gotta get Alita
Alita
to suicide dive into the void. What does she do again?
No. She has to enter the segment tower and activate motherboard.
Okay,
that's Cyber Chase.
All right, sorry, slight tangent for you on this. If you watch Code Lyoko, my thing was like, they fight the same 3 enemy types, but then sometimes those enemy types beat them because there's like 2 of them. It'd be like, here's the low level enemy type that they one shot literally on the daily, but now there's 3 of them, and dear God, whoa.
Well, every time they reset time, it turns out they never fought them, so they never actually build their skills.
But they keep their memory. They keep their memories.
Not unless they die. Spoilers. Wasn't that a thing? Like, didn't some of the characters die?
No, I thought you had to reset before they die, because if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Like Inception. I don't know. It's kind of a confusing anime. Pretty much, I just watch it episodically, and things happen. I was a kid, and there were bright flashes, and it was enjoyable.
All right. Also, not all animes are good, because some suck.
This is also true.
So yeah, anime just refers to the stylistic choice of the thing, and sometimes they get a little murky, like the Boondocks. Some people say, is the Boondocks anime? I say it's more anime inspired.
I was gonna say to further add rules to this. Not only does it have to be in the anime style, but I think it needs to be in the Japanese spirit because both Last Airbender and or just Avatar and Code Lyoko, they're clearly kind of based around Japanese culture, right? The classroom in Code Lyoko is the classic like Japanese classroom, even though it's
Yeah, and then they're okay. You have the samurai, and then the girl she fights with the katana fans, and
right. All of the bending is based on some form of martial arts. Like it has to be in the Japanese spirit, which I guess might be a little hard to define, but I think pretty much like any art form, it's kind of you know it when you see it.
Yeah, and animes more or less usually focus on realism. Not in the sense you're probably thinking, oh, but don't they all have special powers? No, realism in terms of character designs. Humans aren't exaggerated in any way.
That's an excellent point. Let's compare this directly to American cartoons, right? We have the basic classical American cartoons, The Simpsons, even early Disney animation, Looney Tunes is based on squash and squish. Where like literally Steamboat Willie. Everything has like they flatten, they squish, they.
We have 4 fingers for some reason because it's just easier to draw.
I mean, yeah, you go right. Okay, I drew the hand and 1, 2, crap. Well, I guess they get 3 fingers and a thumb. That's close enough, right? So, yeah, so anime is based anatomically, physics-wise, a little bit more on reality.
Yeah, and of course you have animes that are completely over the top and don't.
Pop Team Epic.
Yeah, and they're crazy. But generally, like I said, anime, we're gonna, humans are gonna be realistic human size, animals are gonna be realistic animal sizes. Even when mythical, magical things are going on, they're still very grounded in the universes they create. The rules are still very, you're never gonna have some character like wackily pull out a hammer and smash someone.
No.
And unlike, cartoons seem to be not. Most of the times aren't serial, they're just random episodes in a series. Of course, there aren't cartoons that don't follow this like
Kim Possible.
Yeah, Kim Possible. They're clearly a story from episode to episode to episode, and there's a greater story, and it has a definitive end at some point.
Right. They get together for some reason.
Why not?
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Ron deserved to be with Kim.
Ron deserved to be with somebody, but they had a good friendship, Odell. They had just
but they're okay. Their love was organic.
Their friendship was organic.
And they're in that. Okay, I will give you this because the series ended officially with the movie with them finally dating.
No, because there were episodes after that.
No, but then the series was so popular that they decided to make one final season. That's why when the season that after the movie starts, it starts at the last season. Remember at the school sign says the end, and then when the next season starts, it goes, oh, not the end? Question mark. Because they actually wrote it for that so they weren't going to explore them dating.
No, that makes it worse. That's the that's the Marvel logic too. Like, everything's ending. I guess you are a couple, and you're a couple, and you're a couple, and everybody's a couple, and we're all in the end.
Okay, no, but
it's excessive amounts of like romantic and relationship.
Kim and Ron make sense as a couple. There has been undertones of them being together. Okay, I will say two friends that were closely, because even before they started dating, even Ron addressed it. He was like, in the movie when she fell in love with the evil robot lover boy, he was like, "Why is this bothering me now? They've dated other people over the course of their life," and
because that was the agenda of the movie, to make them a couple.
I feel like it didn't feel forced.
I will disagree, but we can both agree that they are still cartoons and not anime.
Yes, that we can agree.
That is the main takeaway here. But as we're talking about anime and we're talking about how you handled translation in Germany, what do you think is better? Subtitles, watching just the anime purely with subtitles, or waiting for Funimation to come out with a dub audio dub over episode?
Alright, so before I give my definitive answer, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up learning English. I speak English. Things are better for me to be received in English.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm watching an anime, if the voice cast is good, as is needed with every animated show, period, you need a good voice cast because you do. For example, Teen Titans Go would not work without the excellent voice cast.
Mm-mm.
Like that show needed the voice cast to be good, and in fact that their original Teen Titans voice actors just helps tremendously. Versus another thing, let's look at Rugrats All Grown Up, which honestly wasn't that bad of a show, but the voice actors just really did not hit the mark.
I also don't think it was that good of a show.
It
But
it was.
that was part of that weird phase where Nickelodeon's like, it's been 20 years since our audience were babies. Maybe they're 13 now.
I don't think they were even that. They were like in the third. They were something stupid. Like they should have at least been in high school. They was like maybe touching middle school.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I digress.
Okay.
But here's the thing: when it comes to anime,
Mm-hmm.
English voice actors rarely get that right. There are certain animes, ooh, like Dragon Ball Z, which I think are just maybe not that good, but they're just iconic, so they get away with it.
They get the nostalgia pass.
Yeah, but very few animes in America go back that far.
Mm-hmm.
And you have animes like Cowboy Bebop, which the English cast does amazing. And then you have things like Space Dandy, the English cast does amazing. But most animes kind of recycle voice actors, so certain characters.
No, Johnny Youngbo must be in everything, all things.
I think
Vash the
I think
Stampede. He is Lelouch v. Britannia.
He's Lelouch. He's Ichigo, and he's a whole bunch of characters that are vastly different characters. I think he's a damn good Ichigo, to be honest with you.
No, yeah, he is.
But
other characters from that show,
not so
maybe
much.
Not. I actually don't like Urahara in the dub over.
He's too goofy.
He's a little too goofy. Like he's trying to go for that sly like merchant, I guess, voice that he hits that, but past when he tries to sound competent, it doesn't. Or when he tries to sound competent, it doesn't. Really
he gets
pan
the
out.
goofy, but when he has to be the serious, it doesn't. And that's I was using a very long-winded explanation to say I'd rather take subtitles because the dub in English rarely gets it right. There are cases like Space Dandy, Cowboy Bebop, Dragon Ball Z, mostly due to the nostalgia and iconicness of it, that the whole cast is pitch perfect. But other animes, like even Bleach, where Ichigo, the main character, is great, Chad is not, or the Hime's not, Uryu's hit and miss.
You know what I will say that I think I definitively prefer dubs over are for shows where like the Japanese try and have particularly young actors, and I just gonna be honest, I find the voice grating. So if you go back and watch the original Card Capturers, right, she's like, oh boy, I'm like in second grade, and I'm gonna be the main protagonist.
She's like the Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I'm like I can't. No, Mickey Mouse is like deeper. Hi, boys and girls. I'm going to capture the cards.
that was good again.
Thank you. But yeah, listening to the American dub was much better. Like, it didn't hurt my ears. I'm just going to be honest.
And then I feel like the American dub is only good during the golden age of cartoons. Saturday morning cartoons like Pokemon, great dub. Digimon, great dub. But now Saturday morning cartoons have died. I don't know where those voice actors went because... Okay, let's think. Okay, My Hero Academia is a currently good show.
With a great mixed bag of...
Yeah, so Midoriya, they get it right. He's whiny.
I'll give Midoriya a thumbs up here. If we're doing a thumbs up or thumbs down, Midoriya, thumbs up.
All Might real form. All Might hero form.
I'll still give it a thumbs up.
Alright. Then you have, Todoroki.
Thumbs up.
Bakugo.
Oh... I'll give that. If yes or no, yes.
Su-chan. That's the frog girl.
Yes.
No, what? I give her a complete thumbs down.
I need to hear her talk more.
She sounds like, "Hi guys, I'm the girl's frog person."
Okay, that's fair. Okay, thumbs down.
The electric guy, Kamikiwi.
Thumbs down. He's supposed to be like they've made him like you said like a dumb frat boy, which he's not smart, but they made him sound way too. They made Uraraka sound way too stupid. Like, people were telling me, like, episode 2, they're like, I don't like this, that she's so in love with Deku. I'm like, which is something that's really lost here.
You're right. That's the thing that English dubs never get right. They based it off of American stereotypes, and they usually
where the main characters have to always get together.
And I've been like visual, like if she's supposed to be the dumb blonde, he's supposed to be the hero, but they usually mess up because their voices legitimately destroy the integrity of what that character stands for.
Right, because it's not until like season 3 in the sub that she even entertains the idea that she might like Midoriya. And even then, she's uncomfortable with the idea of it.
Yeah, and then like Erased is another bad one. The English, I don't know.
I did not watch the English.
It's. I feel like where the English fails is during very emotional scenes. Like the Japanese will be like, you can hear the heart being ripped out of someone's chest. Where the English will be like, oh no, that's bad. This is bad. Or I'm hurt. Oh, One Piece is a prime example. And when they went to go say Robin and she screams, I want to live, and they want to hear like, I'm weeping.
Mm-hmm.
As you can hear her like her voice crack. You can hear the tears in her throat. You can hear her. Even her monologue, when she thought she was never even allowed to have such a grandiose wish as wanting to live, which is heartbreaking in of its own. But then the English version is like, I never thought I could say it. I want to live. It's like, I mean, yeah, you said the words.
But now...
They lacked any emotion.
Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I know, like, a lot of times, well, particularly from when we were... And I forgot his name. When we were in Anime Matsuri, blonde guy, he does the voice of a few people. Not Johnny Youngbosch.
Don't know.
Anywho. But he was saying, like, when he was doing, it was voice work for Ruby. I think Crow's on Ruby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was saying, like, yeah, he filmed it in his own time, and he took, like, 3 different cuts and just sent him the audio. So, like, opposed to, like, I think, like, other, like, classical audio recordings where people...
They film together.
They film together
and go off
each other. You know, he wasn't quite sure what they wanted, so he gave them, like, a funny one, a gruff one. And
I remember. He hadn't even saw the scene he was doing.
That, yes.
Yeah. So, he just had a script to read, and... So, yeah, he wasn't even sure what context. Which, a lot of...
Is Ruby an anime?
It's one of those...
Ooh,
I think...
That's a tough call.
I think we can just put it in the yes, but but you can make a case for why it's not also.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so, short answer, I prefer the subtitles. Unless the English cast is going to put the effort towards it deserves.
Right.
Which most times they don't.
Right, I mean, let's just be honest though. I will be lazy and like the dub because it's nice for me to be able to like look down and not have to constantly read.
Yeah, sometimes you really don't want to read. And then sometimes
I just want to fold my laundry.
And I will say that sometimes maybe you should just check out the dub. Like Kill la Kill has a good dub. It has a great dub actually.
Oh yeah, that was good.
But if you're used watching subtitles, so don't knock the dub. Don't always knock the dub. Give it 1 or 2 episodes. You can't use one. You gotta give it. Sometimes it gets better, but when in doubt, goes to sub.
Okay, so I think that concludes that segment. Go with the sub. We think that's better.
You now know what defines anime and what defines a cartoon. For the most part, you should.
And you've got a good first-hand look at what Gamescom is.
It's amazing. Look it up. I'll have some coverage coming at you later on the game Fanatics, which is our new home, as you know. And as always, I'm Odo Harmon Jr. You can find me at Odo Harmon Jr. on Instagram, Facebook, Wait, I already said that one. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. There we go.
Tweet. And I'm Jerry Fradette. You can find me all the same places at ToonVelo. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to us and to the podcast, FC Podcast 23.
Thank you for joining us as always, and you have a great week, guys.